Hello, welcome to the College Investor Audio Show. We're so glad you're hanging out with us today as we take a look at this article, Save Student Loan Plan Timeline Estimates. Here's what to expect. If you hear anything on the podcast, you can always find the article associated with it at thecollegeinvestor.com. There you can find all kinds of links and resources you could possibly want to know about the topic, and ask us questions too on our social media. Just type in the words The College Investor. You're pretty much going to find us anywhere you are, so we can connect. We'd love to. All right, let's take a look at this. So, the future of student loan repayment for SAVE borrowers has been finalized for a while now by a court settlement, and the exodus is going to start, already pretty much has started, in tranches of individual borrowers. So, according to the most recent communication from the Department of Education, student loan servicers are going to begin sending official notices to borrowers. Well, they already have. You may have already seen one. These notices will come in tranches, which will be 2 weeks apart. Once a borrower receives their notice, they have 90 days to select a new repayment plan, aka plenty of time and no reason to panic. The current available repayment plan options are the standard plan, the tiered standard, which has launched, the IBR, the WRAP plan, which has already launched, and then you have PAYE or pay, but that ends in 2028. Don't pick that one. And the ICR, which ends in 2028 as well. Probably pick a different plan. So when pressed on the final end date for all borrowers, we couldn't really get an exact answer. This timeline does align with our earlier expectation we placed of 70% likelihood that a move would happen July 1st, and it's going to. Quick note here that this has been updated to reflect the current communication from the Department of Education. Everything has already started because it started on July 1st. So just keep an eye out for those official notices. A quick recap of where we have been up to this point, all the prior reporting and expectations. Our previous reporting set the following expectations: that there was pretty much a 10% chance that the department forces SAVE borrowers out before July 1st. We believe this was kind of too quick, though, to execute and gave borrowers really no access to WRAP. 70% chance, though, that the department did a clean migration once WRAP was live on July 1st, which looks like that's the exact strategy that's happening, which is a good thing. It's the best way to do this. 20% chance of a wildcard timeline, or even being allowed to stay until June 30th, 2028. That did not happen. Looking at the clean migration, because WRAP is now live as you're listening to this. As we reiterated before, the entire timeline seems like borrowers should plan for late 2026, but some may get lucky and be able to wait a little longer. Just don't wait anymore. We place our highest odds at late 2026 for all borrowers to move out. We can't make this more clear. Do not wait for deadlines. Just do it. Just pick a plan, and it's easy to do. We can walk you through the whole process. Like and follow and all the things on social media, and we're there. Just type in the words The College Investor, you'll find us, and we will walk you through how to pick the right plan for you. Since it's officially announced that tranches of borrowers in roughly 2-week intervals will happen, there's still a chance that some borrowers' timelines may be later in the year, but just don't bet on it. Our conversation with the student loan servicers has said that even with the tranches, borrowers should expect a compressed timeline here. Let's take a look at the current timeline expectations. Borrowers can expect official announcements to start going out, and they already have been going out. And to date, the Department of Education has already done what we've dubbed courtesy notices, both by email and even robocalls. In our interview with Undersecretary of Education Nicholas Kent, he mentioned that borrowers would receive notices in tranches. We assume it will be like 2-week intervals. And if that's the case, we can make some estimates on when the almost 7 million borrowers in SAVE will have to all be moved. If they operate in tranches of roughly 750,000 borrowers at a time, still possible to have all borrowers off of the SAVE plan even before the end of this year. Tranche 1 has started. Tranche 2, July 15th. Tranche 3, July 29th. Tranche 4, August 12th. Tranche 5, August 26th. Tranche 6, September 9th. The 7th one, September 23rd. And then the last one, October 2nd. This would be the last date for the 90 days to end cleaning on December 31st, 2026. Happy New Year. Remember, these are just estimates. If they were roughly 2-week tranches with roughly like 750K borrowers at a time. It's also pretty possible that there are more tranches with fewer borrowers and the timeline gets extended out further, though we actually believe this stretching into 27 is going to be rare. Again, I know I've repeated this a couple times, but it is worth repeating. Get out of the SAVE plan now. What actions borrowers need to take? As if, I don't know, you could probably guess. Each borrower will have their own will have their own 90-day timeline to select a new repayment plan and re-enter repayment. The current available repayment plan options are this: the standard plan, the tiered standard, the IBR, and the repayment assistance plan. Those are the only ones. I know it's confusing that there are 2 other options, but they end in 2028. It's probably better just to go with the other ones. I'm not even going to mention the other 2. To encourage borrowers to select a plan and enroll in auto payment, the department is temporarily increasing the auto pay discount from 0.25% to an entire percentage point of an interest rate reduction. Okay. I don't know why anybody would ever do this, but what happens if you don't select a plan? I don't even want to entertain the answer to this question, but I guess I will. If a borrower fails to select a repayment plan, first of all, why? They will be auto-enrolled in the standard or tiered standard plan, depending on their eligibility. Monthly billing would resume under this plan immediately after the 90 days. You gotta pay. If borrowers fail to make payments under this plan or change plans altogether, they will enter delinquency and then default. Borrowers should realize the collection activity on defaulted loans is set to resume, and it's generally more expensive to be in collections than if you just picked a stinking plan. Okay, so here's how to select the best plan. For many existing borrowers, enrolling in IBR will actually be the best choice to both have an income-driven repayment plan and ensure they have the fastest pathway to time-based loan forgiveness. For new borrowers, some existing borrowers, RAP is a compelling option with a potentially lower payment and, of course, that interest subsidy, which helps so that your principal is always going down. The downside is the extended 30 years to forgiveness. It's like a mortgage loan. But for borrowers pursuing PSLF, the answer is always, always, always. Which one is cheapest? IBR or RAP? And then pick that one. Because the timeline for PSLF is separate, your goal is simply minimizing repayment costs, right? Okay. For borrowers looking to repay their loans, the standard plans are always the best since you have a fully amortized payment, and that ensures you can easily use the debt snowball method to make additional principal payments, which is really the best. You get out of debt faster, is basically what it is. All right, so here's what happens next. Now that we know the estimated timeline to switch repayment plans, borrowers in SAVE need to run the numbers, which you can use the College Investor's Student Loan Calculator, and then make a plan. It's important to remember that not receiving a notification is not the same as not being sent a notification. If you haven't heard from your loan servicer by September, you should make a choice for yourself rather than waiting. Okay. I think that bears repeating. If you haven't heard from your loan servicer by September, you should make a choice for yourself rather than waiting. Just be safe. Do not end up in default and plan accordingly. Okay, I got my dad hat off, I guess. I know it's a little bit more stern than usual, but this is so important. If you're stuck in the SAVE plan, get out of it now. Don't wait until you receive a notification. Okay, so That is our show, and we hope it was helpful. If you want to dive in deeper into this, please check out thecollegeinvestor.com. That's where you can get the most up-to-date information. Follow, like, and all the things, the clicky buttons you got to press on social media. Type in the words The College Investor. You're going to find us there because we want to help you pick the right plan for you and your family and do this right. Okay. Thanks so much for stopping by today, and we'll talk to you again real soon.